Very much. Here we're back. So once again, thank you very much for this invite to talk about such an interesting topic. In fact, the topic you assigned to me, let's say, is very relevant, not only for because of my job, but also because coincidentally, I recently attended a conference that was organized in the Directorate-General, the department where I work, which is Digitrad. The conference was about machine translation and the role of the interaction between machine translation and humans. So how is AI shaping the linguistic services? How will our job skills change and the roles of linguists change as well? The outcome of this two-day conference was that humans should be always part of the loop. And not only humans in general, but especially experts. So we will still need experts in languages, but perhaps their role, their actual task might change slightly. In any case, this debate has been going on for a long time. I'm sure you're all aware of the fact that we are not in the parliament or in any EU institution or on the private sector. We are not aiming at replacing human translators or interpreters with machines. In fact, I can also redirect you to an article published by Slater not long ago, where Slater listed which kind of linguists will never be replaced by machines. For example, translators for decision making, legal translators and interpreters, and linguists for the creative industry. So now that we are reassured that our role will not be replaced by a robot, we can actually look at we can actually reflect a little bit on how AI impacts other aspects of our lives, especially concerning human rights, democracy, and discrimination. So as you know, the European Parliament, being directly elected by European citizens, has the interest of the citizens at heart. So it aims to maintain democracy in this world, which is increasingly digital. A recent survey amongst the EU citizens showed that around 75% of them appreciate the help of AI in their daily life, whether it's the automatic robot cleaning the floor or self-driving cars or speech recognition typing phones on your messages on your phone. However, out of this same pool of citizens, around 88% of them also mentioned that AI should be handled with care, so it can actually be threatening and dangerous. Therefore, the European Parliament is looking into possible new legislations to ensure that AI is used for citizens in a good way while still respecting the European values and the basic human rights. As a side note, it's quite interesting that recently I read a book from Stephen Hawking. I think it was published in 2018, and I have it here. It's called Brief Answers to the Big Questions. Already in his book, Stephen Hawking mentioned the European Parliament as one of the organizations that was working on a new set of rules to ensure that machines remain in the service of humans, so not a threat for them. So what does the European Parliament do to tackle the new needs coming together with the development of technologies? At an administrative level, so in the administrative side of the European Parliament, we have a specific sector, a department, which deals with research, and in particular with research on technology. So the department itself is called European Parliamentary Research Service. The acronym is EPRS. And within EPRS, we have a special panel for the future of science and technology, which is called STOA. So STOA, in particular, arranges workshops, events, writes reports, and drafts papers on artificial intelligence and on the development of the new digital technologies. All these reports and events are useful for the members of the European Parliament, the MEPs, who are working on new legislations. You also should know, I'm sure you know already, that the European Parliament has 705 members from all the member states, but they are divided as well, depending on the topic they need to draft proposals and laws on. They are divided in committees. The committees are various. There are 28. For example, there are committees on relations with non-EU countries, committees on human rights, committees on animal welfare, and so on. And recently, on the 18th of June 2020, a special committee was created on artificial intelligence in the digital age. That is called AIDA. AIDA is a special committee formed by 33 MEPs, and it has a 12-month mandate, which means that it should theoretically be working just for 1 year. However, the mandate is extendable. So if there is a need, they might continue further. During this initial year, AIDA, the special committee, will organize some workshops and hearings with experts and policymakers in the field of artificial intelligence. This is to ensure that the digital transition is human-centric, so still keeping humans and citizens at the core to protect them and to make sure that technologies respect the Charter of Fundamental Rights of the European Union. The AIDA, the special committee AIDA, is chaired by a Romanian member of the parliament, Dragoș Tudorache, apologies for my pronunciation, who is part of one of the political groups of the European Parliament, which is the Renew Europe group. And I would like to quote his words to say what is not only AIDA's goal, but the European Parliament's goal. Europe needs to develop AI that is trustworthy, eliminates biases and discrimination. And AI should serve common good while ensuring business and industry thriving together and generate economic prosperity. So now, just to give you some examples on why legislation is needed, I can bring to you two facts or episodes. Let's imagine a self-driving car. In fact, in Finland, there is a self-driving bus already used. The self-driving bus is very small. It has only 2 seats, and it serves a small village in Finland where passengers can get on and off. The bus stops by itself. There is no driver. This is definitely a great use of AI. However, what if there is a road accident and either a passenger on board or on the street gets injured? This is an example of where there is a problem of liability with AI. Whose fault is it if the system of the bus did not recognize the obstacle? Whose fault is it if a bus without a driver hits a child? With a driver, you would usually bring that person to court. But if there is no driver, is it the producer's fault? Is it the city council's fault? Or is it the coder's fault? The coder as in the person who designed the algorithm of the self-driving bus. So this is just an example of how it is important to establish responsibility for the correct use or incorrect use of artificial intelligence. Another example that I would like to give you concerns discrimination. There are start being in place some face recognition systems in airports at the border controls to scan passengers, or even to identify their emotional status based on their facial expressions. According to the members of the European Parliament, this could lead to severe discrimination and bias based on the color of the skin or other physical features of each person. So the MEPs consider this as a threat for the citizens' rights, and they already demanded on some occasions the ban of such systems, not only because of discrimination, but also because it's a lack of people's privacy and human dignity. So now that I gave you these two examples, I think I can start moving towards the conclusion and somehow mention what could be the rules or somehow solutions to this ethical and legal debate. As I told you already, the MEPs are looking into protecting citizens' interests. And one of the main points that I will tell you now was raised by a Greek member of the parliament, Eva Kaili, from the Social Democrats political group. She pointed out that AI should not be weaponized or used against humanity. In other words, humans should continue supervising AI, and the algorithms on which AI is funded should be open source, traceable, and transparent so that they can always be controlled, improved, and used for good. In addition, AI should always be used in line with the basic human rights. So not leading not only to discrimination, but also not leading to fake news, which is another big issue when it comes to self-generated pieces of information on the net. So as I told you already, what the political parties, the political house wants to convey is that all discriminatory AI systems should be banned, as I said, like facial recognition, but also citizens scoring systems based on their behaviors. Let's imagine what you might have seen perhaps on the TV series Black Mirror, where citizens get points for their good or bad behaviors. This is definitely something that, at least in the European Union, we are trying to keep very far from the citizens. In conclusion, to reach the goals that I mentioned during the speech, the Parliament and the MEPs will continue working on new specific laws for turning the EU into a hub for a trustworthy technology. And to quote again the chair of AIDA, the Special Committee on Artificial Intelligence, Mr. Tudorache, let's remember that AI should never replace or relieve humans from their responsibility. Humans should always be in the loop, and AI should always be trained to avoid discrimination towards citizens. So let's hope that the member states will join forces in order to adopt a unanimous, unique European-wide approach to safeguard the citizens. And for sure, I am confident that the European citizens will always remain for the Parliament at the heart of the new AI regulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Martina, for this very interesting speech. Maybe we can now start with the debate. So if anyone has any questions, any comments that would like to ask Martina, this is the time.
I will say a disclaimer. I might not have all the answers, but okay, please.
I just want to say at the very start that I'm really pleased to hear this speech that you gave. It was so interesting and it was just like an eye-opener. I knew that the AI, the artificial intelligence, has been here for many years. Actually, the speech recognition programs have been started in the 60s by IBM company, but they were very basic at the time, and then they were more developed in the 90s. They covered more languages, and now we are here. And I was so nicely impressed when you said about the special committee, because now I can understand that European Union is a huge institution. It involves millions of text, possibly millions further text in the future. So we have to consider other aspects that may come up on the way. And you said that dignity has to be preserved, there should be no discrimination, and the human should be at the center. I do agree with you, and I'm so glad that the European institutions are thinking about it, because we are talking about a huge organization. From my side, I have to say at the very start, when I came across the speech recognition programs, I was hesitant. I didn't like them at all. I thought that they were a risk to a profession, possibly, because we may lose a job and so on. But now I can understand, and I can only praise, and I see advantages of these programs. They make our lives easier, and I see that they are in use in many other sectors, not only in interpreting, but also in other sectors like automotive and so on. So it was very useful. Perhaps somebody else would like to say whether you feel like you are in favor, or maybe you don't like speech recognition programs.
Thank you, Magdalena, in the meantime, for your nice feedback.
That's okay.
Maybe I can't say something, but maybe can I say it in Spanish? So our colleagues practice into English as well. So Martina, you can listen to the English channel if you want. Okay. Vale, has mencionado que el reconocimiento de discurso se utiliza en muchas plataformas y en muchos aspectos de nuestra vida diaria. Quizá podrías, no sé, mencionar algunos de ellos o darnos un ejemplo de qué personalmente tú qué crees que es más útil de este tipo de reconocimiento de texto y de esta inteligencia artificial, o en qué crees que nos ayudará en nuestro día a día, en cosas diarias que ahora mismo a lo mejor pues pensamos que la inteligencia artificial no está involucrada, pero que en realidad pues sí que lo vivimos día a día. Entonces, sí, ¿tú qué piensas que es más útil, o qué nos puede hacer que la inteligencia artificial, el reconocimiento de textos, cómo puede hacer nuestra vida pues un poco más fácil en lo que se refiere a la vida diaria, en el día a día?
If I reply in Italian, will anyone interpret or not?
Yes, they will, don't worry.
Okay, so everybody can listen to the
English channel, yeah.
Ok, va bene. Grazie Anna per la domanda. I sistemi di riconoscimento vocale possono essere utilizzati in molti contesti. Quindi in un ambito lavorativo, per esempio, sono utili quando degli impiegati si trovano, per esempio, a dover trascrivere i verbali di lunghe riunioni, come avviene non solo al Parlamento, ma anche in qualsiasi altra azienda o istituzione. Quindi nel momento in cui c'è bisogno di trascrivere un verbale parola per parola di tutta una lunga riunione o una conferenza che può durare anche più di una giornata, questi sistemi sicuramente possono venirci in aiuto, e successivamente la parte umana è comunque fondamentale per la revisione, per la correzione di eventuali errori. Invece in un ambito privato della vita quotidiana, avere un sistema di riconoscimento vocale può essere utile nel momento in cui per esempio mi trovo alla guida e non posso utilizzare le mani per scrivere un messaggio, oppure non solo il riconoscimento vocale viene utilizzato per trascrivere delle parole, quindi da orale a testo in un messaggio, per esempio sul cellulare, ma si può utilizzare anche per attivare determinate funzioni in un dispositivo. Ci sono per esempio nuovi forni intelligenti in cui mentre magari tu stai pulendo il resto della cucina puoi dire accendi il forno a 180 gradi. Mi rendo conto che possiamo vivere anche senza, però nel momento in cui queste tecnologie ci possono aiutare e non farci del male, non vedo perché non dovremmo utilizzarle. La cosa importante, come spiegavo prima, è continuare a mantenere gli esseri umani al centro e sempre in controllo.
Gracias, Martina. Sí, esto que acabas de decir de las casas inteligentes, ¿no? Como que tú le dices, abre las persianas y las persianas se levantan. Que a veces nos lo presentan un poco en series como la de Black Mirror, lo que tú has dicho, nos lo presentan un poco así como que nos da miedo, ¿no? Que la casa se va a apoderar de nuestra vida, que un robot nos va a hacer algo malo, pero bueno, en realidad, mientras que la persona, el humano se mantenga al centro de esto, pues no habrá ningún problema.
Sì.
Sì, sì.
Se posso aggiungere un'altra cosa, sempre in italiano, una storia non divertente, però un piccolo aneddoto. Quando ho cominciato a lavorare dove sto lavorando adesso, un mio collega informatico, mentre parlavamo dello sviluppo delle tecnologie, della paura delle persone verso le tecnologie, mi raccontò che quando i bancomat, gli sportelli del bancomat vennero creati per la prima volta, i banchieri che prima lavoravano alla cassa della banca scioperarono per paura di perdere il lavoro. Però adesso potete immaginarvi una vita senza sportello del bancomat? Addirittura stiamo andando a una vita senza contanti. Quindi questa è la naturale evoluzione della tecnologia. Quello che prima faceva paura diventa normale amministrazione. E non vuol dire che i banchieri abbiano perso il lavoro, semplicemente che c'è stato un cambio nel loro ruolo all'interno della banca. Quindi in questo senso penso che dovremmo vedere anche tutto il resto delle tecnologie, a patto che continuiamo comunque a utilizzarle in modo positivo.
Thank you, Martina. I don't know if anyone else wants to maybe have some questions or comments.
Yes, I have a question. I don't know if should I speak in English or Italian?
Whatever you prefer, Gloria.
Fine.
Yeah.
You mentioned, Martina, 2 examples of artificial intelligence when you in the second part of your speech, and you said that there is this you told us that there is the automatic drivers, so the artificial intelligence applied to drivers, and you were saying that if there is a car and there is an accident, a car accident, and this car was driven automatically by no one, so there was the automatic system, and then this car hits the kids. You were saying that who is the fault of this, and you were talking about liability, which is a very important concept. To me, it just this problem is just a problem that arises now because we have automatic drivers and normal cars. It wouldn't happen if all the world were using automatic drivers. This would be, I think, almost impossible because if all the transport systems, all the cars were driven by an automatic software, they would calculate better than any human being in the world all the possibility of accidents. I'm sure there will be some instance where maybe you could get wrong, but it's not the time of it's a system that replaces humans, but they work better than us because they can calculate, when they drive, they know that they need 2 seconds and they have 1 second left remaining before hitting the kid. So they would decide always better than us. I don't know if I made myself enough clear on the example you mentioned earlier.
Sì. No, penso che sia chiarissimo. Quello che ti voglio dire è che speriamo che riescano a rimediare a qualsiasi inconveniente, nel senso che posso immaginare un mondo di cui, come dici tu, in cui tutto è automatizzato e quindi non ci sono incidenti perché le distanze vengono rispettate, i semafori vengono rispettati. Però non posso garantire, cioè nessuno può garantire che non ci sia un blackout nell'elettricità, un cortocircuito di qualsiasi tipo, un bambino che si butta in mezzo alla strada all'ultimo momento. Quindi che ci siano problemi oppure no, ci vuole comunque una nuova regolamentazione di queste tecnologie, almeno credo. E non è da me, non è mio ruolo decidere chi dovrebbe avere la colpa, però effettivamente ti fa riflettere. È la colpa della città che ha implementato questo nuovo sistema di tram automatici, oppure la colpa del produttore che ha costruito male la macchina, o è la colpa di chi ha scritto l'algoritmo che non lo ha scritto nel modo giusto? Quindi io non ho al momento una risposta e non so neppure se queste leggi siano già state approvate, anzi credo di no, o quasi sicuramente no, però è sicuramente qualcosa che a cui bisogna pensare a livello globale, come dici tu, perché quello che poi si applica in un paese va applicato a tutta l'Unione Europea o a tutto il mondo, quindi ci vuole una linea comune.
Penso che la parte più difficile sia quella emozionale che la macchina non ha. Ad esempio, se tu guidi e a destra è un gatto che attraversa la strada, a sinistra è un bambino che attraversa la strada, ovviamente da umano, se dovessi scegliere, spero, cioè, mi dispiace per il gatto, ma arroteresti il gatto. Magari una macchina, non sapendo riconoscere, non so cosa fare, e lì sarebbe veramente il problema, e quella è la parte proprio umana, emozionale, che la macchina non so se un giorno saprà mai riconoscere.
Chissà.
Scusate per questo intervento.
Grazie. Qualcun altro? Spero che sia... Com'era la velocità e tutto? Andava bene?
I've got a question, actually. It's regarding the accuracy rate. Do you have like any data, statistics to say how accurate the software is right now? I understand that it's being developed, but then we have to factor in, like, people speak with different accents, dialects, there's some background noise and so on. I understand that these softwares, they are becoming better and better year by year, because I'm using one of them, but do you have any data?
I will answer in English, just to change. The automatic speech recognition softwares, their accuracy depends on the software itself, for sure. Each software developed by each company, whether it's, I don't know, Google, Microsoft, Facebook, and so on, probably has a different accuracy rate, because each company uses different data to train their language models, which means that they put into their engine some text, some audios, some translation memories, terminology, to make sure that this software improves. So I cannot give you a number. I think the number probably changes on each specific software. I don't know which one you use, but for example, people who know Dragon, I'm sure Dragon has a specific percentage of accuracy, but Google has another one. And also this depends on the language, because there are languages where more data is available, like English, because everybody speaks it. You can put, really physically put more text inside and match it with the audio and make the tool, the software improve. But if you have a small language, for example, I don't know, Maltese or Irish, in the case of European languages, these are much less spoken because of the number of speakers, and this means that having less data, perhaps the tool will not perform as well. But if you would like to research more information about it, I'm sure you will find a lot online. I will tell you there is a specific kind of automatic calculation that can be done to check the accuracy of the speech recognition tools. It's called word error rate, WER, that's the acronym. And it is a comparison between a transcription made by a human and a transcription made by a machine on the same audio. It gives you a percentage, and if the percentage of error is low, it means that the software is transcribing well because there are few errors. If the percentage is high, then there are a lot of errors. So the word error rate gives you an idea of the accuracy, but what is the problem of it is that it's an automatic calculation. So even if one word is wrong, this could lead to a very severe change of meaning. Because imagine if the tool, if the software does not transcribe correctly not, then the meaning of the sentence would not be negative anymore, it will be positive. And in some cases, this is really giving issues to the overall content of the speech. Do you see what I mean?
I do. It's very useful.
So I'm sorry not to be able to give you a number, but I hope I gave you some context, and you can hopefully find out yourself what you would like to know about the software you use, or in general about the accuracy.
I will. Thank you very much. That was so
You're
useful.
welcome.
Thank you, Martina and Magda. And I don't know if anyone else has any more questions or comments. Otherwise, maybe we can move on to the simultaneous practice. Yeah. All right. So Martina, you can leave the meeting here. And thank you again. Yes.
Sorry. It's just because in Luxembourg we are 1 hour later.
Yeah.
And it's getting a bit late, but
yes, of course.
I'm very, very happy that I could join you and see familiar and new faces. I really hope that you had fun somehow.
Yes, so, thank you very much, Martina, for joining us once again on behalf of the whole group. And I'm sure we will see you again soon. Thanks, Martina.
Yes. Ciao.
Bye.
Enjoy.
Ciao.
Bye. Bye-bye.